Hi guys, and I do mean guys. Today we're going to use the beautiful baby lock array and we're going to work on a man's embroidered shirts. Yeah, I've been ignoring you guys and I really didn't mean to. So we're going to do a kind of a fancier man shirt, talk about doing embroidery in those hard to reach places, using the array and the specialty hoop. We'll talk about those for getting to those hard to reach places on a shirt. I'm Cathy, this is Sewing Tech Talk. Come on, join me. Let's do some men's shirts. So we do have a giveaway for today's video. It's a great pack of embroidery thread. So every time you like, share, or comment, you're entered for a chance to win. And check back in a few days to see if you want to claim your prize. Now, embroidery on men's shirts. Men's shirts, well, there's not really that much difference between a man's embroidered shirt and a woman's embroidered shirt. And let's just talk about people for a second. You know, there's all kinds of people out there. There's people who, you know, they're fashion forward. They love all kinds of embroidered things. They want their clothes to be just so. There's people that don't care so much. And there's also people that maybe like something for a special occasion. And men, as well as women, equally are that way, and all those different types of people when it comes to their clothing. But one thing I have noticed about guys, and guys, one thing about you is you have definite feelings no matter where you stand on the fancy clothing issue. You have strong opinions, and I'm totally okay for that. I have strong opinions too. So my guess I'm leading off with that by saying, if you're going to do a shirt for a man, and you're not doing your own shirt, if you're not a man doing your own shirt, you're doing something for a guy, you're going to want to check with the guy and make sure whatever you're going to do is going to work out for them. You don't want to put all that work into a shirt, have them say, I would never wear that. So I'm going to talk a little bit then about mocking up your item so that you can present it to someone who maybe doesn't sew or embroider, and that works for, you know, everything. It works for guy shirts, for everything, teenagers especially. So here's something I'm going to suggest. You don't have to have software to do an embroidery project. You really don't. It adds that extra layer of different things that you can do. Even the most advanced embroidery machines, well, there's something software can do that they can't. So software is an option to think about. But one thing I want to talk about today is one thing that software does really, really well, and that in software, what you can do is you can make a printout of your embroidery design and you can make it up at the actual size. So in other words, you can have your embroidery printed out on a piece of paper with crosshairs. It'll even print out a thread list for you. And why is that, I think, a big deal for especially a project like this? Well, what you can do is if you can select embroideries, change the colors in the software, even just print out the image, you can take this printout, you can lay it on various parts of the shirt, even pin it on, and it gives you a chance to preview what that's going to look like. And that could be very, very helpful for anyone who's really has strong feelings about what you're going to do to their shirt. So anyway, most software will do that. If you're curious about what software would work best for you, it's probably best to call the toll-free number that George is going to give you at the end of the video, and you can chat with them about what the different types of software are. They do much more than print out an image, but that is something that I think is kind of important. So that's one option. So print out something, you can lay it out on. It works for every embroidery project that you're going to do, but I think it's especially important for this. So now let's talk about the shirt itself. So I'm doing this fun shirt, and I use software for something else. This Born to Be Wild, what that was an embroidery that had a motorcycle down here, and that was great, but I wanted a Western themed shirt. So with software, I literally selected the motorcycle and I hit the delete key on my in my computer, and it took away all those stitches for that motorcycle, and I just replaced that with my little horsey embroidery here. So it's kind of a cool way to do some modifications of embroideries like that. So I have Born to Be Wild and I have my horsies, and in doing a shirt, I'm going to be working on the multi-needle today. I'm going to be working on the Baby Lock Array. Can you do a shirt without having a multi-needle? Well, of course you can. There's some areas of the shirt that are super easy to access. For example, if I was coming down the front of any of the shirts, actually even up here in the shoulder area, that's pretty easy to access. On this shirt, I also did the yoke on the back. So I did the yoke on the back, pretty easy to access with just about any machine. But when you're going into some of the more tight areas of the shirt, for example, if I'm coming in, say I wanted to do an embroidery on the sleeve, and I did this embroidery on the shoulder, you're getting into areas that are more challenging to hoop. So in this area right here, I had to take in consideration the collar. There's even a snap up here I had to avoid, and it starts to slope on down when it's come to the shoulder of the shirt. So it makes it a little bit more challenging to hoop. Could I do it on a regular machine? Yes, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to puddle, probably maybe use some sticky stabilizer. It gets into a little bit more involved process if I wanted to do some of these tighter areas to get into. So I am going to use the Baby Lock Array today, which is a multi-needle machine, but most importantly, this machine has a free arm, which means I can get into really tiny areas. I can also do hats. I can get into areas that are much more challenging to access with a regular standard flatbed machine. Also today, I'm going to be using a specialty hoop for the array, and I'm going to be using the magnetic hoop, which is an optional accessory. So let me bring that in so that you can see. So this is a pretty industrial hoop, right? This is the magnetic hoop for the Baby Lock Array, and what it is, it has these magnets here that lift off, and the shirt will get hooped in between this layer right here, and the magnets are going to hold it in position, and it's an excellent easy way to hoop. In fact, it's super easy to hoop it once it's on the machine, so you can go from area to area and you can get this shirt done lickety split. Actually, they recommend for this hoop that you put a piece of fabric in between the layers when you're storing it. I thought, oh my goodness, I went to the inexpensive store and I got me an inexpensive a mouse pad, and it works perfectly for storing the hoop with the magnets. So that's just a thought. So I am going to hoop this shirt once it gets on the machine, but let me show you basically how that's going to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to find your shirt, the area that you want to stitch on your shirt, use your printout if you have one. If not, you can measure the size of the design, make sure you kind of have some sort of idea of the orientation. The Baby Lock Array has great placement crosshairs with an LED guide light that makes it really simple to place your design once you get it on the machine. Now, if I'm not using the magnetic hoop, I'm still going to use a smaller hoop to get into these smaller areas. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shoulder that I'm going to be embroidering. I've already taken some fusible stabilizer to put on the back of it. I'm going to recommend fusible stabilizer because I'm going to be manipulating this a lot, and if the stabilizer isn't kind of attached to the item, it's going to slip around and you're going to be, all hands on deck trying to get everything in there. So I did do some fusible stabilizer on the back. Now, Floriani has a stabilizer called, this is formerly no-show mesh, and they've changed it, and it's now called Power Mesh Fusible Cutaway. It's just like the no-show mesh, but it still has a soft hand, but it's now beefier and it can handle more stitches. And you could always put in a couple layers if you had to. I put in a single layer of this for my steer that I showed you on the back. It was a pretty industrial strength. It had a lot of stitches to it. I probably should have done either 2 layers of the Power Mesh or put a layer of the Dreamweave Fusible on the shirt already, and I would have probably chosen black for this shirt, and that would have been enough to really stabilize that steer. That's a lot. So I fused this on the back of that shoulder area that I'm going to be stitching, and I'm going to get it within the area of the hoop, lay everything on down, bring my collar up underneath. Oops, I told you there was that snap I had to deal with, and you'll have to look for those sort of things on the shirt that you're going to embroider on too. You have to look and see if there's anything that you don't want to embroider through. The snap was really hard to see, and I almost put it in the wrong spot. So once I get it on the machine, it's actually going to be a little bit easier to hoop it. All I do is I put my magnets on the side. I'll hoop it a little bit better once it's on the machine, and then we could be good to go. So, did this Western shirt. I kind of thought it'd be a great little fun shirt to do, and I thought, well, what other shirts could we do that would be great for guys, right? Or anybody. And I thought about, well, you know, you can always probably get someone to wear an embroidered shirt for like a special occasion. Western shirt, kind of fun, going to a concert, going to the rodeo. But I also thought maybe a musician on stage might want a specialty shirt. So I took this shirt. Now this is a silk shirt, and it's kind of a nice little shirt, and it looked kind of modern, and I thought maybe of a jazz musician, right? So these are some designs that are built into the array. There's 2 different musical designs, and there's a third one right here. Actually, this one was much bigger, but the array lets me adjust the stitches, and so I made it a little bit smaller. And this is just down the front of that shirt. And I thought that if they were playing the guitar, it might show out if they were on the stage. Now, wouldn't it also be cool if they were playing the guitar, if you had something on the little cuff or something like that? So think about how these are going to be viewed or looked at, because you can do some pretty fancy stuff, but make sure it's going to show out when you're ready. Once again, I think the printout would be a perfect way to audition that. Okay, so let's get over to the machine and let's put the hoop on, and we'll hoop up our shirt. But I want to show you a couple things on this machine first. So come on over to the array. Like I said, it is a free arm multi-needle machine. And so it's able to get into those tighter spots. Now, what happens is I've sent the designs over to the machine, and the machine is a wireless machine. So the array has wireless function, and there's a free app that you can get that you will send that design wirelessly off to the machine. So I sent some designs off wirelessly to the machine, and I did my cowboy embroidery with my flowers that I'm going to put on the shoulder. And you can also, what's kind of neat about the wireless function is this machine will automatically look for updates to the machine. Now, the magnetic hoop, great, but you know, the machine probably benefited from having the update. Why? Because they will update the information screen or the how-to screen on the machine too. So I'm going to be I put the holder for the magnetic frame on the machine, and there was instructions written out that came with the hoop. But what's really cool is if you look on the machine, if you come in to here, you can see that there's an operation guide for the machine, which is pretty nice, and that's just step by step. And I can come into the basic operation. It tells me how to do the hats and thread the machine, all that kind of fun stuff. But what I think is really cool is it has an onboard video. So when I go to video, what happens with the update, this came in with the update, the machine told me I have an update available. Do you want me to install it? Automatically, you just touch the button and it does its own thing, which I think is pretty amazing. But here's the one for the hoop. And you can literally watch the video to show you how to put all these parts and pieces on the machine. Say you don't use the hat hoop all the time, or you don't use the magnetic frame all the time. Well, it can literally take you through step by step, just on the spur of the moment. I kind of call it the midnight special. So if decided at midnight you're going to do it, you don't have to find that owner's manual. It's literally going to tell you step by step exactly what you need to do to put that the frame holder on. It's going to show you exactly where the screws need to match up, exactly where everything needs to go, and it's literally going to also show you how to hoop it as well. So I think a detailed video like this is a pretty powerful feature on the machine to help you get all your value out of the machine, because you can use all your parts and pieces because the machine's going to show you basically how to do it, which I think is pretty cool. So you can see everything goes on. That's how it goes. That's how you put the shirt on. Now, let's just do it for real. What do you say? Okay, so now I brought in my design, and I'm going to use this little design right here. So this is the one I'm going to use. What's also nice about the machine is, I don't know if you can see it, but see this light gray area here? When you put a hoop on the machine, it knows exactly which hoop that you've put on. And it's automatically going to give you that gray area so that you can design within that area. It's a pretty smart machine. So I brought up my design and I'm going to play with it. So I'm going to hit set, and that takes me to the embroidery edit. Well, the machine's already showed me what orientation my magnetic hoop is. It knows that's what I'm going to put on. So I'm going to rotate it and put that design right within that magnetic hoop area that I have to do. And if I had forgotten to do that and I went to set it and embroider it, the machine would say, no, you can't play. You'd have to come back to this screen and do that. So it's going to help you step by step, not only with the videos, but by messages on the screen so that you know how to use your machine. So I'm going to say OK. Now in here I can change the different colors of it. I can change the orientation of it. I can change the size of it. And quite frankly, I went ahead and I left it to be these colors, and I did my first embroidery, which was in the like the different kind of fall colors is what I kind of used. And I just used where the machine said those colors are going to be. It's pretty simple to change the threads out on the machine. So I am going to change one color just to show you how it's easy to change the threads. So let me come in and I'm going to change one color. I'm going to come into here. It shows you all the different places where those colors are going to be. And when you come to the next screen, it's going to tell you what number spool pin they're going to be on. But I'm going to come in. Let's just see, I'll just change this one. By touching that, it's going to show me that's what that color is going to be. And let's just change that to maybe a more golden kind of color. There we go, something more gold. Something a little bit more like this. So, okay. So I've changed that one color. When I come to edit end, now I'm going to put the shirt onto the hoop on the machine, and the hoop on the machine, and the shirt in the hoop. Easy for me to say. And then we'll go to the next screen and we'll rethread. So I watched the video and it showed me that I'm going to bring this hoop in just like this. I'm going to clear underneath, and I'm going to literally take it, put those little clips on where I need to go, and push it on in. And it just snaps into place. Now, I couldn't show you that because it's pretty hard to see back in there with the video camera, but there's two little pins like the video showed, and it just sits on the top of those. Now, I need to lift up this and put my shirt into place. Now I can see that I have my printout, and I can match exactly what looks on the screen to what's down here. I can lay it on in and say, you know what? I think that's going to look pretty good. I even have crosshairs if I needed to mark the shirt beforehand. I don't have to be so fussy on this shoulder. I just want to get it so that I know everything's in place. And notice, the shirt's hanging down here. It's not going to be in the way, and I don't have to really fight it to get it around that hoop that I would have on a standard machine. Now the magnets, they literally just fit on. They snap on. So you just get them close, they snap on, and they only go in certain spots, so you can't go wrong. Oops, you can try to go wrong. And you want to make sure everything's nice and flat. If I need to adjust, it has a handy lever. It's a pretty powerful magnet. It's hard to lift up. So by clicking this, the magnet comes off super easy. They've kind of thought of everything. I think that's pretty good. I might want to adjust it a little bit more, bring it up front. And I am set. Now, let's go to the embroidery part of the embroidering part of the screen. When I hit embroider, now, oh, while I'm here, if I wanted to, if I needed to, there's that LED guide light to show me exactly where I need to place it. I've already done that with my little printout. I know I'm good. So let's go to embroidery. Now, here's what's really cool. On the machine, when you change over, there's 6 places where you can have thread, right? Well, the machine's going to show you exactly where those need to go. And as you thread each and every one, it's literally going to show you that you've done that task and you're good to go. So I did change the one color. I changed this one right here. I changed number 6 to a different color. Let me just thread that and show you how easy that is to change. So I'm going to go to a lighter color there. All I do is I clip the thread. Now the first time you thread it, there's a video for that too, and it shows you step by step how to take it exactly through all of the parts. Once you get it threaded though the first time, you're literally just going to pull the threads through. So I'm going to put that on the pin, tie an overhand knot, now I'm just really going to grab that thread, pull it all the way through on number 6. Now the machine has a needle threader that works for all 6 of the needles. I'm just going to have to tell it which needle I'm threading. So on the screen of the machine, I'm just going to touch 6. It's going to go to that spot. I touch the needle threader button. It's going to bring that needle threader down into position. Touch the needle threader button again. Voila! And you just do that for all 6 of the needles. Like I said, I haven't really changed. I didn't use the colors that they suggested. I used my own colors. I could tell what color went to where because that's exactly just where I put it on the spool. So I'm going to close that out. Now this has 7 different colors. Because I changed one, it doesn't have the 6 colors that it originally had. And it will go through that whole process of stitching out my flowers on my shoulder. It's good. If you can see, there's a red line showing me that yes, I am going to change that one color. It's going to do all 6 colors all the way through. When I get to that one spot, the machine's going to stop, going to flash at me and tell me I need to change that color. There's also a monitoring app, and it would tell me on my smart device, come back to the machine. I need you to feed me a new color. It's a pretty smart machine. So basically, everything's all in. I think I'm good to go. All I have to do is start it. I'm going to hit lock. Green means go. I'm going to hit that, and we're going to go through the first 6 colors just like that. We're going to go there, and I'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to change to that number 1. Let's go. So the machine let me know that it's ready for that one thread to be changed. And if you can see the screen, it literally shows me that I need to put this red thread on needle number 1. And that's the only thing that I need to change. So let's do that. So I'm not using red, I am using my gold or thread. So we'll come on up here and I will take my thread, just snip. Put my new improved color up here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm changing that first needle thread. I'm going to pull down, touch down here, grab the thread from the front of the needle, pull it till the knot comes through. And I'm going to tell the machine that I am going to thread that needle, touch the needle threader, and you can see it comes forward and the light is really bright for me to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to catch it under here, come up, and I'm just going to touch that needle threader button again. pretty good to go. So now all I have to do is start the machine. But notice the machine literally now is just showing me my embroidery, and it's just ready to go. One thing I do want to show you is it has 8 minutes to go, but I'm only going at 400 stitches a minute. I think I can go a little faster. Let's see if we can change that by hitting the plus up to 1,000 stitches a minute. It's already taken it down to 5 minutes, and lickety split, we're going to be done with this shirt. So let me get it started, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. So all finished. Notice the machine is flashing at me until I say, I know you're finished embroidering. Okay. And then it gives me that bright light so I can see what I've done. So take off the magnets, use my handy dandy little clippers. Out comes the shirt, and oh my goodness, I think my Western shirt is ready for the rodeo. And, you know, it could be a man's shirt, could be a woman's shirt, could be whatever. Thank you for watching me today. I had a whole bunch of fun. In fact, I think I had a yee-haw kind of a time. I'm going to send it off to George. Go ahead and make some man shirts, woman shirts, whatever. It's kind of fun. And the array, well, George is going to tell you all about it. If you want to do shirts, any embroidery project, do a ton of it really fast, really convenient, well, it might be the machine for you. Take it away, George.
Thanks, Cathy. That was an incredible presentation. The Baby Lock Array offers the right combination of performance and technology. Now, because it has that open arm, you can embroider almost anything from bags to hats to backpacks to sleeves, all kinds of items that you can't embroider on a flatbed machine. But it also has such technology, including the ability to size your designs up to 200% or decrease them 70% and maintaining the same quality. Now, it has 6 needles that interchange very, very quickly, and it goes up to high speeds, over 1,000 stitches per minute. Its large, nearly 8 by 12 inch embroidery hoop gives you beautiful embroidery of all types, as well as you can even send designs via Wi-Fi to the machine. You have 50 built-in fonts with the ability to arc and array and customize, plus some very, very large monograms that are so beautiful. My favorite feature is that crosshair laser. I can simply draw a line or a crosshair on my garment and mark 2 points, and it automatically aligns it so that I have perfect embroidery every single time. Now, we have an incredible opportunity on this machine. The Baby Lock Array has a regular retail price of $14,999, but right now it is on sale for $11,999. We're offering interest-free payments of only $199.98 a month. That makes this very affordable. We're also including free shipping across the country. But right now also, as a special offer, we're including a bonus. This bonus includes 9 rolls of stabilizer, 10 5,000 meter spools of Floriani thread, 63 spools in virtually the rainbow colors. I have a box of bobbins, 10 packages of embroidery needles, plus 2 exclusive collections from Anita Good Design that has over 650 embroidery files, and a membership to Love and Knowledge where you can learn everything about the Baby Lock Array. This bonus has a value over $2,000, and it's included free with the purchase of the array while we have this in stock. Now, I mentioned that we have interest-free payments of $199.98 a month. If you're not wanting to finance this, I have even a better offer for you where we have even more bonus for you. So give us a call at 1-800-865-9664 or click on the link to order this machine. Bye for now.